Are you? You're logging?
Connected. Why is it not connecting? I have connected on that. One second.
Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Jai Jai Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Swamiji, mic is mute. Swamiji, mic is mute.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Hari Om. Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, Pranam, Pranam.
Namaskaram Swamiji.
Namaskaram, Namaskaram.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Hari Om. So, as willed by Papa and directed by Papa through our inner prompting, this year's Guru Purnima Day, this year's Guru Purnima reminds us of the ultimate goal to be scaled. And it will be the fittest homage. Huh? It's not there? Okay, forget about it. We will read out one quotation of Papa. Please switch off. Please switch off. You are the watcher. You can sit. No, you can. Not there. Here. Here. Don't go.
No, there is one more connection. I guess. In this it won't fit. There is a connection.
You are the watcher and the mind is the watched. As you begin to watch the mind, Papa is sharing all these thoughts with us based upon his own experiment. Many of you might know that the struggle started in his life in 1920. And we now put two and two together when he had the darshan of Gandhiji at a distance. You can come.
It has come.
Oh, it is there. It's come. He has mentioned that was the first spiritual touch. That was the first spiritual touch. And you all know that Gandhiji was a great warrior of Ramana. And he has also mentioned in his articles that Ram stands for the subtle and mysterious power, not an entity. So after that, when Papa said it is the first spiritual touch, he started repeating Ram, 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 Ram. Not merely Ram, Ram. Later on, through Inquest of God, first chapter, we found. Sit down, sit down. That he was also simultaneously going through texts like Yoga Vasishta. Sit down, sit down. Swami Ramtirtha's work, Sri Ramakrishna's work, Swami Vivekananda's works. All these things we came to know through passage to divinity. You can sit there also, no? Sit there. Sit there also. No? Some chair will be there. Or you come. Please sit down. Please sit down. We are trying to have the background, you know. So simultaneously, that is why he said meditated and chanted. It is not chanted and meditated. Dhyama cannot sit on the.
No, it was not for which one. For the laptop.
I don't know.
Shall I remove?
No, I'll just copy that file. What Swamiji's got. Swamiji, I'll copy this
1
file.
minute, 1 minute, please.
It's on the desktop, no?
Vipassana.
On the desktop.
Here. You can come a little forward.
आपको चेयर से आए तो वहाँ से ले लेना.
Otherwise, you can sit there.
Oh, it's only taken this.
Not one, the
No,
translation.
whole thing.
In Vipassana, it is translated. No, no.
Not in this.
Vipassana, I took it out and
Repeat
then
the file.
it is there.
This whole thing, no?
Hmm.
All these.
This is
I'll take the whole.
your Telugu also is there. Somebody is there in Telugu.
I'll take this from here onwards.
Tamil may not be there. That is
Same
enough.
here.
That is enough. That is enough.
Control shift. Copy.
We don't know whether the translation has come out well. Anyway,
That rough translation.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes, yes. I'll just.
So the background is this.
Sorry, Swamiji. This one.
So he took up this nama, but you will all kindly remember that in Inquest of God he made it very clear that he did not start with chanting, meditated and chanted. He was trying to absorb what Ram stands for. And in order to ensure a sustaining effort, he started chanting.
Oh. But then how am I supposed to take the cable down?
If not possible, don't forget about it. I thought you are seeing it.
No, we can do something.
Huh?
Oh, she's connected it behind. Okay.
Connected already.
You connected.
You only keep this. That is enough.
So a proper mindset was there before chanting. right.
It's not coming.
It's all right, don't worry.
Take the plug out.
So when he took up this Ram, 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 Ram chanting, meditating and chanting, not chanting, sorry. He was meditating on that inner and outer reality, and then the chanting also simultaneously went on. But in a very short time, he got stabilized in it.
Some other problem.
That is why when he became indifferent to the normal run of life, when everybody became panicky, word was sent to his father, and father rushed up. They thought, there is some mental derangement. But as soon as he saw Papa, he knew
No current is not.
it is nothing wrong with him. So he casually asked, son, what is happening with you? So they frustrated. We said, the same word. He said, God is making me to repeat his name. See that? In such a short time, God is making me to repeat. That means God has taken over the entire. Then only his father gave him Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. So even prior to that, so if we don't know exactly the timing, it must be definitely within 3 or 5 months or 6 months. God is making me repeat his name. Got stabilized. And in another, by 2022, that means 20 to 22 years' time, entire thing got concretized. And that is why he set out his yatra. And that officially was instrumental. It was officially to change from the transition from Vittal Rao to Ramdas and Swami Ramdas. This is the background. So he must have undergone all these things, and all these revelations came. So why, as a sadhaka, now we are trying, we are also chanting, for decades together. So we are asking ourselves, have we reached a stage where we feel he is making us to chant? Number one. Number two is, to reach that stage, what all manana he did. So here, this quotation is a clear-cut indication of the clarity he got. And so he writes, is it clear now? No. You are the watcher. That means the sadhana was going on, no? Day after tomorrow, we are also prompted to experiment this. So that is why this quotation came handy. You are the watcher, and the mind is the watched. As you begin to watch the mind, it will gradually cease to be. The witness or awareness alone is there. The thought forms disappear from your mind. When you stand apart from thoughts, witness consciousness is Atman. When you dissociate yourself from the mind in meditation, you will realize you are the self. If you practice like this, thoughts will cease to rise and eventually the mind will be extinguished. You are then a radiant awareness of the self-luminous Atman. This experience yields you bliss and joy which permeates every part of your manifest being or every part of your life and body. Now you have no desires, ego, or mind. You become the embodiment of bliss, purity, and peace. So he is now slowly driving us. You have developed you have developed eh? You have developed a taste for Ramnam. You have been practicing Ramnam. You are enjoying Ramnam. Okay, as soon as the Ramnam is stopped, you are back again to your usual self. That should not be. So the Ramnam chanting should enable us to lead us to that awareness, lead us to that experience, which promises eternal joy, eternal fullness, eternal peace. This is the ultimate aim. This is the goal to be scaled. So day after tomorrow, when he makes us to go through this, make a trial. Very difficult. In one day, nobody can get it. But it's a trial. That means watching the mind. That is what is called vipassana. Watching the mind. And now he gives us the clue. It is not really watching the mind. Getting ourselves separated from the mind. So when we try to watch, he says, you are the watcher and the mind is watched. As you begin to watch the mind, it will gradually cease to be. The witness or awareness alone is there. The thought forms disappear from your mind when you stand apart from thoughts. Witness consciousness is Atman. When you dissociate yourself from the mind in meditation, you will realize you are the self. If you practice like this, thoughts will cease to rise and eventually the mind will be extinguished. You are then a radiant awareness of the self-luminous Atman. This experience yields you bliss and joy, which permeates every part of your manifest being or every part of your life and body. Now you have no desires, ego, or mind. You become the embodiment of bliss, purity, and peace. Bliss, purity, and peace. We don't have to think, we will become this, we will become that. We will enjoy bliss, purity, and peace. And we will function as an individual. Only the mind. Now we are carried away by the mind, but because we have identified totally with the mind, and now we know that we have a mind. We are not the mind. And the mind becomes a tool for. Mind has been given to us to know that he is working through the mind. Again we will read. You are the watcher when we sit, trying to watch the mind. You are the watcher and the mind is the watched. I am the wearer of the shirt. I am not the shirt. I have a body, but I am not the body. Think about it. I can see my body, feel my body, so I can't be the body. But it is my body, agreed. Similarly, mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. We know good thought, bad thought, constructive thought, destructive thought, ennobling thought, depressing thought, creative thought, destructive thought, So that means somebody is there to watch, Otherwise, how can you say that? So every now and then it tries to give a glimpse, but we forget about it. So here we try through a discipline that let the mind go anywhere. Don't worry about controlling the mind. Papa says, just watch. That's all. That process enables us to feel closer to our core of our being. So you are the watcher and the mind is watched. As you begin to watch the mind, it will gradually cease to be. The witness or awareness alone is there. The thought forms disappear from your mind when you start apart from thoughts. Witness consciousness is Atman. When you dissociate yourself from the mind in meditation, you will realize you are the self. Capital S, Atman. If you practice like this, thoughts will cease to rise. Eventually, the mind will be extinguished. You are then a radiant awareness or the self-luminous Atman. This experience yields you bliss and joy, which permeates every part of your manifest being or every part of your life and body. In our language, we can say the me and mine goes to the background, and me to we, and we to him takes its place. This is the expressed form of this experience. In spite of our learning, in spite of our doing so many things, if we still are confining ourselves to the me and mine, that means, Papa here wants us. No. Through this process only, because the mind is saying me and mine, It is the mind that says the me and mine, relationship and possessions. That is called me and mine. So relationship and possession is conveyed to us through the mind. And unknowingly, the mind has possessed us. So here now Papa wants us. All our spiritual discipline should enable us to move toward this. It may be very difficult, but we will move toward this. So that is why he said, you become an embodiment of bliss, purity and peace. So that is why he has... It is not coming. No. She opened it. No, she opened. So they are not hearing. One. Did you hear?
Now you can ask.
Did you hear what all we said? Hari Om. Eh?
Yes, Swami.
Everything you heard?
Yes, Swami.
Yeah. Correct. So this is very, very important. Because you are not attending day after tomorrow's program. So you can have this background and try in your own way for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever is possible. So Papa is now indicating this is the goal. Ramnam chanting should enable us to ultimately, once in a way we should try, so that slowly, it comes to stay with us. And in the case of Puja Mataji, when she left everything and joined Papa in Kasaragod Ashram in 1928, and when Papa put her on the severe practice, a stage in the shortest possible time, she was able to get away from the mind and got stabilized in this, refused to come out of it. And then Papa made her to come out of it. And Papa added, that experience alone is not enough. With that experience, you should see the manifestation. That is how she became the mother of all. That is how she conveyed to everybody that the ultimate aim is absence of otherness. And Papa mentioned this, her Mataji's progress as in the speed was something like a Sputnik, satellite. When you launch it, how it came. On those days it was called Sputnik. So he said Sputnik speed. In the shortest possible time. Because in 1930-31 this ashram was established. And she joined in Papa in 28 and started vigorous, Papa put her on severe test, severe sadhana. And when she sat for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, she was in that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And she said, I don't want to come out. I would like to be in that. Then Papa made her, no, that is not full. Based upon that, you should also his manifestation. So the Nama chanting should lead us to these. And whatever progress we make, it will not be in vain. It will be a plus, it will be a plus, it will be a plus. So nobody should get dispirited or dejected when we are not in a position. Suppose we are in a position to do that, and suppose half an hour or 1 hour, here we are going to have 7 45-minute session. And during that session, Papa is also providing us with some clues so that the mind, we cannot sit idle. The mind has to work out how to extinguish itself. And then when we get a taste out of this 1 day program, 1 day experiment, say 1 minute or 2 minutes or something like that, a few seconds, when we are led to this, then we will know we have directly tasted it, directly tasted it. That is important. It is not somebody told something and we are hearing it and following it, no. It is a direct experience, and then we will slowly try to stretch it gradually. So this is, and one more thing, the guidance will come from within and without. This particular quotation, it just came, like that. So that means he is watching us and guiding us. When we put one step, he comes out and enables us to march ahead. So we request everybody to pray. All these things, nobody can say from outside. We pray to him who is within us, who has prompted us, who is now prompting us to dwell upon it. We are praying to him, kindly guide us further. Strengthen this commitment. Let it not be there for a few moments. Strengthen our commitment so that we will start moving toward the very purpose for which you have given us this life. Previously, we were identifying with a small circle. You have, by your life, taught us that the purpose of life is to get out of this cage of me and mine. And you took us to your fold. You gave us the holy and all-powerful Ramnam. You made us to develop the taste. And now you felt the time has come for all of us, or your devotees, your spiritual children, to make the next step. Let us start hearing it. Not merely chanting and going, enjoying, Along with that, Pujya Swamiji, before he dropped the body, he wrote a letter to all of us, in which he has mentioned the word a little more serious. We should be a little more serious in our sadhana. Swamiji will not utter anything that will wound anybody. So his superlative expression is a little. We have to be a little more serious in our sadhana. So in line with the direction given by our masters, we will all make a move. So those of you who are not in a position to join us physically here, you can be with us mentally, and this is the message. Tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 to 4:30, there is a special satsang, and we will be sharing all these thoughts of what is going to be the agenda for day after tomorrow, hour by hour. And as usual, you will all hear it, and you can note down whatever is possible. We can understand you have your own limitation when you are in your own residence, but with all that, suppose you keep this in your mind, it will help you. There are 5 or 6 points, Papa has prompted to dwell upon, to dwell upon. But this is the crux, watching the mind. Why watching the mind? So that we will become aware. That expression is not correct. The watching the mind leads to awareness of the witness consciousness. There, I am not there, no. Watching the mind leads us to an experience of awareness of him, the witness consciousness. Even if it is for 30 seconds, even if it is for 1 minute, it's a big game. Because we are going to have direct experience, you know. Rest of during the 7, we are not in a position to keep up this. It may be intellectually dwelling on those points, okay. But the real purpose is watch the mind, watch the mind, watch the mind. Papa will roar, no? The watcher is the real you, self-immortal. That is how the last session should end. And then, if by His grace we get a taste of this, we will not leave it like that. Somewhere it will be there in our mind, subconscious state. And we will try during the day. Not necessarily in a sitting position, in any position. Because we have now learned, at least we can watch the mind for a minute. We can watch the mind for 5 minutes. We can watch the mind for a few seconds. No? So far it was all no theory. We were reading Papas, that's all. But here it is a direct experience. This should be very, very clear to our mind. In one go we may not be able to, because we are not sitting exclusively for that. In Papa's case, he was sitting exclusively for that. He detached himself from everything and poured his entire body, mind and intellect toward that. And in order that his mind does not crave for anything, he denied so many things. You might be remembering that he reduced his food from 3 to 2, 2 to 1, and that 1 was also spiceless boiled potato. We cannot do all those things. So what we are trying is, morning we will have some fruits, and noontime simple food. Not a heavy food, because we will feel sleepy, dull. We cannot raise ourselves to Papas. We cannot imitate. So we are trying to adopt a methodology which is suitable for us. But in a congregation, we have to have some guidelines. When we are back to oneself, we can choose our own. As far as possible, Papa is prompting us not to insist anything. It is not a dictum or a dogma or a discipline or a military command. But at the same time, some guidelines is necessary. Otherwise, the mind will not get prepared. And later on, each one will work out one's own. In this connection, we remember, please hold on. Because this is also should simultaneously develop. Otherwise, we may be trying to imitate. No. Here he wants us that. Everybody can see now?
Yes, Swamiji.
Yeah. The true spiritual perfection. In order to share this, yesterday you made one devotee to come and say, ask something, and at that time, this was identified. The true spiritual perfection lies along the path of your own inherent nature. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. Not somebody says control C, control V, no. In your own, Papa clearly wants this. You have to develop your individual uniqueness so that the divine power and glory may be revealed in you, expressing themselves in an original way. You ought to be the creator of new thoughts and actions. When you are walking on the path of divine, you are fired with the zeal of adventure, and you go to meet the goal of your quest according to your own inborn nature. When you are walking on the path of the divine, you are fired with the zeal of adventure, and you go to meet the goal of your quest according to your own inborn nature. Sadhana consists in removing the obstacles that are found in your nature so that you can spontaneously reveal the eternal truth of your being. That means my path should be also original. Papa gives us some clues, but I have to develop in my own way, suiting to my swabhava, suiting to the characteristics with which this body, mind, intellect is functioning. Sadhakas receive inspiration and guidance from great souls and scriptures, but they should be warned against mere imitation. The world judges what is happening, also Papa says. We, especially elder people, we always say, you should do this, you should do that, to the younger generation. So here Papa clearly given. It expects that they should all be cast in the same mold and act in the same manner. You are asked to do a particular thing or not to do it because some great saint in the past did or did not do. If you express your creativity, you are told you have departed from the traditional path. You see how practical Papa was, This he must have written nearly 70 years back. Just imagine. You see, and he says, you see, the pearl fish receives the raindrop, dives down into the sea, and after some time produces a pearl of rare brilliance. There is a creation, unique, original. A tree bears innumerable fruits, each fruit having its own quality, shape, and taste. You behold countless stars shining in the sky, and on close examination you discover that each one of them has its own peculiar luster and beauty. So also, among human beings, there is a variety of natures and temperaments, and each being born with a distinctly unique characteristic. The mistake is, it's a wonderful way of putting it, The mistake is to squeeze life, squeeze into a set of traditional mold instead of permitting it to expand and manifest its splendor in its own way. We are trying to put it in a mold, unknowingly. The object of sadhana is to release life from limitations with which it is bound. It is a process of elimination of the impurities, stiffness, narrowness that have clogged your being, and the revealment of divine knowledge, power, and love, so that you may shine as a unique expression of truth. Truth means, God. So while taking up sadhana seriously, this also has to be brought in mind. That means we take the guidance and then trying to interpret it in the way in which we can understand. Is very, very clear. The title of the article is Release to Divinity. We have now limited. You have to come out of it. So, and Papa clearly says each one is unique, each one has to come out in the unique way. So while doing any act, somebody asks you to chant, you chant. No. Initially, if somebody asks to chant, we chant. We get started, otherwise how will we start? Somebody has to say that and we follow. And then suddenly we find the progress is not to that extent. Why? Because we have not adjusted it to our own taste, temperament, inclination, aptitude, limitation. So now the struggle is to set it to our equipment. But that can come only by ceaseless trying. When we read Papas, we try to do the manana. And the manana will take place only when we try to bring out something origin, something original. Otherwise, we are copy paste, that will not help us. Even in our computer language, suppose you say this Control C, Control V, we are not going through that, no. When you originate something, the other one is easy. Somebody has said you have to copy it and paste it. So copy paste does not encourage us to bring out the originality. Initially, copy paste is necessary. Otherwise, we will not get started. So gurus are there, they have placed before us, they are inspiring life and mission. And then we understand that they blossomed in their own way. In Papa's case, it is very clear, he did not join any organization. He was not going around a guru. He was not doing any traditional form of approach. And he had only one. The individuality and the Atman inside. Atman was his guide. God was his guide. He named it as Ram. Ram was his guide, that's all. And in such a short time, he could scale the height. Guru Purnima Day reminds us of, because he is our spiritual preceptor. If we have not been drawn, we would not be knowing about all this at all. So he has drawn us from our life, allowed us to live as dictated by our mind. But every now and then, because of his unbounded love for us, he keeps on entering into us through Satsang, through his books, through Ram Nam. And now he is taking us a little more forward. You have to be a little more serious. Why I gave you Ram Nam? Ram Nam is to realize that word, we are chanting the name of one who is within us, who is making us to chant. Which he repeated to his father. God made me repeat his name. That stage we have to reach. When we chant, when somebody asks, not only we should feel, when somebody asks, we should be able to say, I am not chanting. I have not joined Ram Nam session. God made me to chant. God made me to join. Let us forget about God realization, all these things. We want to reach this stage where we feel We are made to repeat his name. That stage we should reach. The day after tomorrow's exercise is only to reach that stage. At the moment, the mind will come forward and say, I am chanting. No? I have done this much mala today. You have not done? No, no, I have done this much. So this, the mind comes and says. So here now Papa says, detach yourself from the mind. Watch its activities. Then you will know who is prompting you to chant. Who is prompting you to think.
Swamiji, all these days, whenever you used to say, detach your mind, I was stuck there. That itself was a block, roadblock.
Now it is slowly, he is clearing it, na?
Yes, Swami.
Yes. Because we are trying to understand through the mind, So some limitation will be there. And later on, when we take to it seriously, we are trying to keep the mind away. With the help of the mind only, agreed. That is why in one of his quotations he said, utterance of God's name is to make the mind ultimately still, free from all thoughts. Utterance of God's name is to make the mind still, ultimately free from all thoughts. So utterance of God's name, is an act of the mind. So that should lead us to the stillness. Every time it may not be possible. Now we are trying. Every day, suppose we set apart 5 or 10 minutes to practice this, it might become possible for us. That is how he did it. He is talking from his experience, not a strict shastras or He is talking right from he is sharing everything from his own direct experience. That is why it has got such an impact when we read. Because it is not a copy paste. Whatever he experienced, luckily for the sake of all of us, he has put it in writing in so many. And to him, it was not it was effortless, spontaneous. God made somebody to ask this question, and he will immediately give out spontaneously. And luckily, somebody was kind enough to jot down, put in the form of a book. During his satsang, somebody was kind enough to jot down everything and bring it out in God experience. Puja Swamiji was with him during his foreign travel, and whatever he said, he was able to take down in shorthand and then immediately type it out and showed it to Papa, got it confirmed and then released. Now it is coming out in the form of lectures of Swami Ramdas, 5 volumes. Tremendous work. Papa himself has written 4 books. In Quest of God, At the Feet of God, In the Vision of God, World is God. Now, all from his direct experience. So during the next 2 days, let us prepare our mind. And on the Guru Purnima day, those of you who are not in a position to come here, you may make a trial in your own way, at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, where you try to go through that. Whatever we have done, that is enough. In case you need the pamphlet, you can ask. I think it must have been sent. If anybody needs anything more, that also will be sent. Those are only guidelines, Ultimately, it rests on us, the individual. Now he is making it very clear. Our goal is only to feel that he is making us to repeat his name. So that we have removed all complications. This is only one I want. I am chanting now, but I feel I am chanting now, but I try to identify the power behind the chanting and then experience that the power is making me to chant. Though outwardly, even if we say I am chanting, the I is not referred to the sense of individuality, that's all. That power directly expresses in the form of I am chanting. Swami Ranganathan ji used to say the small I and the big I, This small I is the individual I, and the big I is the power, is the witness. Now these words are coming, if we close our eyes, we will see the words are coming out one by one. It is being witnessed, that witness. And we suppose we get a taste, First, the tangible gain is we realize he is within us. Second thing is he is readily available. Ramana Maharshi used to say, he is there within us, but before we start, the I comes and stands. With the result, he keeps quiet. He is in the background. Like us, he doesn't rush forward and assert, no, you are not there, I am there. He will not say that. That is his kindness. He gives us a long rope. When children, suppose the father has given something, and the children will be talking to another child, this is mine. The father will not say, I have bought and given to you, Will he do that? He knows very well, but he will not say that. Until the boy himself realizes, my father has given me, So each one of us can now see we are in which state now. He gave us everything. He gave us the very life. He gave us the very sense of individuality. He provided everything through Mother Nature and society. He keeps on giving everything, but he keeps himself in the background. He allows us to say, I have done this, I have done that, I have got this, He will not interfere. But a day comes, when we grow, we realize it is not mine. Daddy gave me. Similarly, God gave me this. God gave me this body, mind, intellect, equipment, and He is now expressing it. I know it, I don't know it. That should be the stage first. I know it, but I don't know it. Immediately the mind comes and takes over. So again we try, again we try. So let this powerful message be stamped in our mind, and we try our level best to exclusively focus upon this on Guru Purnima day. Papa Mataji and Swamiji will be extremely happy if their spiritual children move towards this direction. This is our homage to their holy feet. Mataji always used to say, remember, those of you who have had the privilege of hearing Mataji, from Deha Buddhi to Vishwa Buddhi. She put it in a simple language, We have to raise ourselves from the Deha Buddhi, that means sense of individuality, to Vishwa Buddhi, universal, all pervading, all comprehensive. All these things now we try to understand the real meaning of those expressions. So these are all the thoughts we wanted to share with you all. Anything else?
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
Swamiji, can you please throw some light on the meditation?
I can't hear. Sultanai.
Will you please repeat it, because audio is not clear. Your audio is not clear.
Can you please?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Swamiji, can you please throw some light on the walking meditation?
Walking
Walking meditation.
Yes. So when we sit, we are not used to sitting for a long time with this idea. So the body will start uh, becoming restless, or it might not become restless. And we might unknowingly develop a feeling that this is possible only when we sit and do this. So that is why this walking meditation comes in. That means an active life and a non-active life. So while we take up and start walking, same watching should be done. Each step when we take, we are trying to become aware of it. When we see a plant, when we see a flower, when we see a stone, when we see the path. Previously, we were just walking. Now the walking meditation will remind us, wait, just watch. So that the mind is now tuned to this watching. And watching only can separate itself from the watched. So whatever we are trying to gain during our sitting session, we are also trying to equally experience in the active session. It may be difficult initially, and this walking or doing, which we are doing it, most of our waking time is used for that movement and working. So in all these, suppose we develop an attitude of detaching even while we are busily engaged. Now we are sitting before the laptop, now we are talking. While we are talking, a conscious effort will be made to witness the talk. We may fail or forget, but there will be a conscious effort on our part. Because we are not exclusively sitting with this mission. So as many times we will try to bring in this dimension. So this is what is meant by this walking meditation. Watching every step, every object. We may not be able to do it. First 1% of the whole thing, okay. It can become 2%, 3%, 5%. Slowly the mind is tuned to watch. And when we come and sit, the same effort can make us to move in that direction. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. So tomorrow, 3:30 again, the same subject. We will be sharing more thoughts about the day after tomorrow's program. All are cordially invited. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam. Bhupesh, bhai. Pranam, pranam, pranam. Hari Om, Hari Om. Namaskaram, namaskaram. Hari Om, Hari Om. Okay then. Plural. Namaskaram, plural. Hari Om, Hari Om.
தமிழ்மார் 4 பேரும் நாலு பேர் ഇവിടെ വരും തമിഴ്മാർ ഉണ്ട് നാളിനെ പ്രോഗ്രാം പറ്റി കുറച്ച് പറയാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ
Tomorrow?
നാളേക്ക് തമിഴ് ആളുകൾ 4 പേർ ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ടല്ലേ ഇന്ന്
I can tell in Tamil, no? Why should you struggle yourself in Malayalam?
4 பேரும் நாளைக்கு இங்கே இருக்கிறாங்க இல்லையா அவங்க வர சொல்லியிருக்கேன் அவங்க வரட்டும் அவங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா வரட்டும் இந்த இதில் 21
That's okay. It's all right. Let them hear that. That is enough. Okay. If they are interested, you can come.